Well, back here at the Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland, not a very big crowd. There wasn't a very big crowd last night, only 14,000 plus. The Oakland A's, of course, are struggling right now. Out of the gate, only 2-5 after winning more games than anybody else in spring training. But that's exactly what it's all about. Spring training is spring training. This is the regular season. Let's look at tonight's starting lineups with David.
It's now time for tonight's starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And Mark McNamara is in left field. Cameron is center field. Edgar Martinez, Curtis, Olruth, Boone, Bell, and Anthony Sanders in right field. Wilson, Gibson, and you look at that on-base percentage of Edgar Martinez. With all those walks, 12 already in this young season, so he's off to a fine start. Mark Mulder being the pitcher, the left-hander. You see 59% fastballs. He throws the off-speed pitch, mainly that curveball and changeup to keep those hitters off balance. 4.13 ERA, and we look at the defense of the Oakland A's. And going around the horn, Jason Giambi at first base, MVP last year. Frank Minichino, the second baseman, getting his first start. Eric Chavez, the third baseman, been out there every day. Tejada, the reigning shortstop, grand slam recently. Johnny Damon in left field. Terrence Long in center field. And we have the right fielder, another Giambi, Jeremy Giambi in right field. Sal Fasano is the catcher. And that's around the horn.
So both managers have really shaken their lineup up tonight. Several of the Mariner regular starters not starting tonight. For example, Guillen is not starting at shortstop. Ichiro is not out in right field. And McLemore stepping in, getting the leadoff role in this one tonight, gets a start in left field, and Mark Mulder misses down low and outside. 54 degrees, going to be a chilly night here in Oakland. It's even a degree cooler than it was at the beginning last night. Ground ball backhanded at first base, and Mr. Giambi goes over in plenty of time to Mulder. So one down. Everybody well bundled up tonight. These two clubs, when they get together, always are in for at least a 3-hour spat. One usually figures that when they're playing either here or at Safeco. Mike Cameron will step in and lead it off. This is the first time we've ever seen Mike Mulder. Mike Mulder, a #1 draft choice, and he has a little bit of a problem that an old #1 draft choice of the Mariners used to have. Hendon, an old teammate of yours. I'm talking about Mike Moore, who turned out being a heck of a pitcher. Deliveries low and inside. He will have one inning where he really struggles and then settle down.
Well, it's one of those things they can't get over the hump. They lose concentration or something goes wrong and they can't control it.
Mulder, they say, has added about 4 to 5 miles an hour on his fastball since last year. In early September, he had to be shut down because of a herniated disc in his back. And a lot of people think that had the Athletics had Mark Mulder when they played the Yankees, they would have beaten the Yankees. They would have had another left-hander to throw at them. As it was, they almost did. Down low and outside. Of the two young left-handers that the A's have, Zito and Mulder, Zito probably has the better stuff. There's nothing wrong with Mulder's either. Into the hole, and Tejada throws him out. Miguel Tejada made it look easy. That was an easy play.
Well, you talk about quality shortstop. We always mention the big three, but Tejada ranging to his right there on the run, gets a lot on this ball, throws it on the back leg, and remember, Cameron can run down that first base line.
Well, the Oakland Athletics so far in the 4 games between these two clubs almost literally have not been able to get Edgar Martinez out as he steps in there. Edgar taking a strike. Edgar Martinez has been on base 17 of his 19 plate appearances against Oakland this year. Unbelievable. He's 9 for 11 against Oakland with 8 walks, and he was on all 5 times last night.
Well, we look at this, Dave, and it's apparently that they don't want to pitch to him. They'd rather walk this guy, let him run the bases, and Art Howe calls that, I'm not going to let him play tonight.
Well, he misses again with a fastball inside. And the count 2-1. Foul.
Well, as we look at those 4 walks last night, remember he surrounded that with a home run to right center. So Edgar does pick a pitch out every now and then and hits it hard.
Way inside to Edgar, and so the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Edgar with his first home run last night. John Olerud is next. And he got it. So Edgar Martinez down on strikes. Perfect pitch on the outside corner. Looked like he took a little off on the change. So 1, 2, 3, the story for the Mariners against Mr. Mulder. And the A's are coming up.
Welcome back to Network Associates Coliseum. It's now time for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Johnny Damon leading off again. Menachino, Jason Giambi, Earl Valdez, Tejada, Chavez, Long, Jeremy Giambi, and Fasano doing the catching. You look at Tejada, he has 2 of the 3 home runs this year. In that grand slam, we remember Aaron Seeley on the mound for the Mariners. See 63% fastball, that curveball, he 12-6, and we look at the defense going around the horn. And we start off with John Olerud at first base, a fixture at first base, Booney at second base. Look at third base, David Bell. Charles Gibson getting the start at shortstop. Mark McLemore in left field tonight. Cameron in center field. And we'll take off more later. And Andy Sanders in right field just to complete it.
Anthony Sanders gets the start out in right field. Ichiro being given the night off as Seeley starts the leadoff man Johnny Damon off with a strike. There's Sanders, and Damon lines it sharply into left field for a base hit. Damon, who's been struggling of late, has his 4th hit of the year in 26 tries. Just goes the other way with that Seeley pitch. And so he's aboard, and Frank Menachino will be the hitter. Menachino making his debut tonight this year, his 0-1 debut, as the young rookie Jose Ortiz given his first night off of the year.
As we look at Aaron Seeley, we always talk about his curveball, but his sinker ball is the pitch that he has to establish to get those ground balls.
A lot of double plays last night. That's up and in. As you know, Seeley not a power pitcher. Good sinker, great curveball, and a good change. Johnny Damon last year, the speedster with 46 stolen bases for Kansas City. Speaking of Kansas City, boy, they glad to get New York out of town. Yankees beat them again today. Yankees beat Kansas City 6 straight times already this year.
That's when you start to get a phobia when they're on the schedule. You look, we got to play the Yankees again.
Yankees beat Kansas City 8-5. Last 4 games, they scored 46 runs against Kansas City. On the outside corner, the man calling balls and strikes is Jerry Lane. There's Jerry. Paul Schreiber at first base, and Tony Randazzo and Montague on the base paths. Menachino pops it up. And Anthony Sanders, plenty of time to get over there to make the easy catch. So 1 down in the bottom half of the first. And Jason Giambi will be the hitter. Giambi, one of the few A's that has hit anything at all. He's 7 for 20.
And he's that guy in the lineup that you have to pretty much stay away from as of Edgar Martinez the same way. He has 7 walks. Of course, Edgar has 12. And they're trying to keep these guys from impacting the ball game by walking them.
High and outside.
Well, I'm a firm believer that you can give a hitter too much respect because, remember, they do make 7 outs out of 10.
Guess that pitch was a little outside.
Well, you get that call when you're MVP last year. You get the benefit of the doubt from the umpires.
High fly ball to left field. Routine. And McLemore. His one-handed catch out there. Mario Valdez is the designated hitter this evening. He's got Valdez in there. He's got Menachino in there. He's got Sal Fasano in there. As he's shaking up the lineup the last couple of games and he's kind of rolled snake eyes.
Well, it's one of those things you debate as a manager. Art Howe, you see him there wondering, okay, my guys are struggling, but I don't want to send the wrong message. Remember, everybody goes 0 for 20, 2 for 20. It's just at the beginning of the year, it's more emphasized.
Yes. Especially when you come off winning 22 games in spring training. More games than anybody in baseball.
Well, you know what we say about that spring training, those stats there. They're in spring training. There's a reason. They don't count.
But also they gave themselves a pretty good track record last year to emulate by winning 91 ball games, of course, and winning the West.
Well, I think what happens when you have a young club like this, they don't have a portfolio or a track record to reflect back on. An old veteran player says 2 for 20, big deal. I know I'm going to get my hits. But these young guys, they don't have that history, so they start to doubt themselves.
Yeah, well, you know, you lose a Randy Velarde, a veteran, you know, that already beat the Mariners one game with a home run down there in Texas. You lose him, and although you've got a hotshot rookie at second base, he's still a rookie.
There you go.
And that's a strike on the outside corner to Mario Valdez. Kevin Apier.
And Matt Stairs.
Yeah.
Matt Stairs.
Yeah.
You start taking away all those guys that have some history, some background of going through some downfalls in baseball. Remember, most of these kids are coming out of college or high school. They've never done bad. And this is pro ball. Everybody's going to stink every now and then.
Seeley knows that Damon probably more of a threat to go now with 2 down than he was earlier. Popped up into shallow left center field and drifting out, Charles Gibson. Nicely done by Charles Gibson as he makes the catch, and that takes care of the Athletics here in the first. Leadoff single, but Damon stays over at first base, and as we go to the second, Olerud, Boone, and Beldu up for the Mariners. No score. No score as we go to the second inning of play. Stan Javier munching up on some sunflower seeds down there. Make your plans to be at Safeco Field for a weekend of American League West action. It's the Mariners and the Angels, a 4-game series packed with fun and great giveaways. Thursday, April 19th, the first 15,000 kids getting the wildly popular Wizards of the Coast Major League Baseball Showdown 2001 trading card game. Friday, April the 20th, you can get your hands on a Jay Buhner All-Star collector pin courtesy of Lowe's, and wrap it all up with that Mariners train collection car with the Pepsi and Fred Meyer All-Star train car. Call 206-622-HITS or stop by any Mariners team store. 1-0 on John Olerud. Pulled sharply but foul down the first baseline. grounds crew here does a great job. This place is always immaculate as far as the outfield grass is concerned, the infield grass. Slowly tapped to Menachino. And Frank throws him out. That's a base hit for Ichiro.
Well, it's one of those things. They play Ichiro a little different. Middle infielders cheat in so they can cut that ball off. John Orude, you can play a little deeper. He doesn't have that God gift of speed.
Yeah, I'm assuming if they're playing at that depth, that's a base hit for him, for Ichiro. Ichiro, by the way, getting the night off. Here is Booney. And there he is. Ichiro, when you come out to Safeco Field and watch batting practice, and I don't know whether he's ever going to do this in a game or not. If he does, he's going to give a little heart attack. But he loves to go out there and catch fly balls behind his back in batting practice. They say he did that in Japan.
Not on my watch. I'm a center fielder. I didn't allow that kind of stuff. You can style and do all that stuff after you make the out.
3-0 on Booney.
Well, as we look at the stats, Al Martin and Brett Boone are the only one that's ever faced Mulder, so he has a little bit of idea how he throws.
Boone, a shot to left field, a bullet, and it'll go all the way to the corner, hit hard off the wall. Damon will have to come up on the grass to get it. He almost fell down, and Brett Boone has a one-out double.
Well, he worked him into a count. Of course, 3-1 count. Mulder throws a fastball, and you let a hitter know a pitch is coming. We call it a crippled pitch. Fastball middle, and Booney gets the head out and laces this ball. Gets it by Johnny Damon. He doesn't have a chance to cut it off. It's an automatic stand-up double.
And that'll bring up David Bell. Bell, who had an RBI last night and also had one of the greatest plays I have ever seen defensively. Made one of the greatest plays I've ever seen defensively. And he takes a strike in the 8th inning. Watch his play as Johnny Damon bids to punch one into the hole. First, if he falls down, knocks it down, picks it up while almost flat on his back. He throws out one of the fastest men in baseball.
And that's the degree of difficulty with Johnny Damon running. You know you have to be quick. You don't have time to spare. Just throw the ball.
Big curveball for a strike that time. And when Mulder gets that big bender over, he can usually be mighty, mighty tough. Out of play. Took a little bit off that time.
Well, we talked to a few of the Mariner hitters about Barry Zito's curveball. They were all kind of amazed that it broke so much and so tight. Went straight down, and they all walked back and says, okay, I have a better idea. Next time we face him, I'll be looking for that curveball.
The Mariners last night 3 for 7 with men in scoring position, and the bottom of the lineup, which has been struggling, really had some production in it last night. Swing and a miss, and the ball dropped, but Fasano picks it up and tags out Bell. So he's on his way back to the dugout, and Anthony Sanders will get a shot now.
All right, number 10, Anthony Sanders, right field.
Well, Anthony Sanders chomping at the bit to get some at-bats and show Lou that his spring training was no fluke, that he can play, trying to put together a few hits to get a little bit more playing time.
Anthony into some pretty tough luck down in Texas. He hit the ball hard on a couple of occasions. One I recall A-Rod making an unbelievable backhand stab to keep the ball from going into left field. Sharply hit, but right to Tejada on one hop. So Brett Boone is stranded at second base. His double for Knott coming back. It'll be Tejada, Chavez, and Terrence Long against Seeley. Still no score. Miguel Tejada will start it off. Here's a real fan, or real something or another. A change from Aaron is down low, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. That guy with that drum out there in the bleachers, you might be able to hear it. It's been here for a long, long time. They got another one in Cleveland.
Yeah, it gets into your system after a while.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting there right behind him all game?
Charles Gibson has got a shot, so he's made a fine running catch in the outfield, and he's fielded a routine ground ball. Lou wants to find out if this kid can play shortstop.
Well, Lou, you know, there's some worry on Lou's part. If Carlos King goes down, he doesn't really have a shortstop, and Gibson is that guy. You look at Lou giving a day off to Guillen because, you know, he hasn't been swinging a bat. You don't want him to take it out on the field. Of course, he's been flawless on defense, but Gibson has shown that he can make all the plays at third in the outfield with a glove. He just has to hit a little bit more.
A strike to Eric Chavez. Change away, so the count of the ball and the strike. Texas down in Anaheim again tonight. Rangers spoiling the Angels home opener last night. There's no score in the second inning tonight.
Well, Dave, Eric Chavez is one of the guys the coaching staff is worried about because he's never done bad in his career going up anywhere, and he's had 11 strikeouts early in the season.
Went up after that high fastball and tomahawked it into the corner. Ball kind of dies out there. Sanders has to go dig it out and gets it back in. Chavez got a high rope that time, right up in his eyes.
Well, the concern they had with all the extra batting practice in the cage, hitting early today, they're worried about his head. They know he can hit, but you look at that fastball, how high is that out of the strike zone? Yeah. And he gets on top of it and tomahawks it like you said, and that's a tough pitch to handle. They always say, don't swing at the high one because you can't hit it. He can.
Yeah, he sure can. Terrence Long, the hitter. This kid's off to a slow start, too. Curveball and just misses. Might be a tough night for a curveball pitcher. Get a real good feel of it on a chilly night like this with the seams on the baseball. A fastball, although I haven't seen it. There he goes. There's Seeley going to his mouth, blowing on his fist.
Yeah, blowing on his fist to get some moisture in those fingers, and you got to have a little moisture on your hands to grip that ball to make it spin.
Just missing with his curve again, and when he's missing with it, he's missing outside.
Well, that gives you the indication that the curve is not breaking as much. We call that backup breaking ball. It's not as tight, and you say the grip, he's losing a little bit, slipping off his fingers.
High fly ball to left center field, and Cameron's got plenty of room to get over there, tagging Chavez, and he's going to hang right around there at second base. And Jeremy Giambi will be asked to drive him home.
The batter, number 7, Jeremy Giambi, right field.
And a can of corn into shallow left field. Easy play for McLemore. And no problem here in the second inning for Seeley, despite the one-out double by Eric Chavez. He is dead out at second base. The A's don't score. We have no score after 2. And here is Dan Wilson to lead it off against Mulder. Right down the middle this time.
Well, you see the Mariner hitters the first time up off Mulder, they want to see a lot of pitches. They try to get him to throw his breaking ball so they can see the rotation, see the spin.
That ball hit into right center field, but moving over Jeremy Giambi. Charles Gibson will come up. He does not have an at bat this year.
Shortstop.
Charles wearing those pants right down on top of his shoes. That's not the Charles Gibson I know. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, he usually shows a lot of blue on his socks and like the old Negro League players, but he's down low today. You can see him, kind of like some walking shoes.
Better watch. He's going to step on his pants.
Like he's got slacks on down there, huh? That's all over the shoe. New style. He just changed things up.
Curveball that time, but he missed. Fastball, yeah, right down the middle. Mark Mulder, look at that glove. Remember last night, if you were watching, when there was some discussion between Lou Piniella, the home plate umpire at that time, Ed Montague, after
the two-tone variety right there.
Yeah, after Art Howe was complaining about John Halama's glove being two-tone. And John Halama had one last night, just like it, basically just like it. Two-tone. Rules say it has to be one color. But Art Howe went out and complained about Halama's glove because Mike Scioscia came out and complained about Mulder's glove earlier, and he wanted to just complain. He wasn't going to protest the game because he knew he had a guy pitching tonight with the same type of a glove.
He wanted to figure out a game earlier if it was okay to use that two-tone glove.
McLemore with the count 2-1 on him. And a ball hit hard, but right at Terrence Long. So the side is retired in order here in the third by Mike Mulder. Looks mighty impressive. Coming back, Fasano, Damon, and Menachino. No score. There's Mr. Mulder, and here is Sal Fasano, the catcher. Sal Fasano's one of those guys every clubhouse has got to have. I mean, he's a backup catcher, but he's kind of a rah-rah guy, but a guy with a nice sense of humor. A guy that takes this game real seriously, too.
And can catch and throw. That's why he's here. And you always wonder how these guys can, throw out a 220 average every year. But if you can catch and throw and handle a ball game, you're going to be on the staff.
And a change at the knees last year when Kevin Napier was pitching here. And, of course, they were teammates in Kansas City, too. DeSano went out there and chewed on him like I've never seen anybody in my life.
Well, I played behind Kevin Napier, and I've wanted to do that, too. He's a moaner and crybaby.
Charles Gibson showing that good arm off.
Yeah, Salfasano, rolling over. The big catcher. Gibson knows he's got a lot of time. Throws him out easy.
I mean, what do you really think about Kevin Napier?
Well, remember, no catcher likes him. None of his teammates like him. He runs around the pitcher's mound and complains all the time. We just say, grab the ball and throw it and shut up.
Johnny Damon had a base hit to left field. And he takes a strike. 0-1. Napier now with the Mets. Ooh. Got shut out. Not only shut out, they got one hit tonight by Greg Maddux. 2-0 Atlanta over the Mets. 0-2 on Johnny. Mike Remlinger and John Rocker also combined on that one hitter. An inning each, so 7 innings for Maddux. A little inside that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back with a fastball and misses.
Well, see, he wants to keep Damon off the base because, he can slow down a ball game. You have to keep him over there close at first base. See Minachino on deck. Doesn't want to walk him.
You're not going to walk him. You're going to pop him up. And right there, the shortstop, Charles Gibson. So here comes Menachino as Damon heads on back to the dugout.
The batter, second baseman, Frank Menachino.
Small, stocky second baseman, Frank Menachino. Packs a little punch in that bat. You got to be surprised about the power he has, being a little guy.
High pop-up. Cameron. He's got plenty of room. And another easy inning here. The third for Mr. Seeley. We have no score going to the 4th. Mike Cameron's going to lead it off as we go to the 4th inning against the mighty impressive young man out of Michigan State, Mark Mulder. Right up the middle. And there's the Mariners' second hit. And the first time that they have had the leadoff man aboard in an inning.
Well, I think that's what you look for when you face a pitcher for the first time. The second time around the lineup, how they react. They get a better idea how hard he throws, his breaking ball. You get a little bit more comfortable seeing the release point. You see Cameron, he says, I know his fastball, jumps on it first pitch, hits it right back up the box.
So here's Edgar, who struck out on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Slowly tapped to third. Nice big hop for Chavez, and the bounce throw over to first base in time. So around the horn, 5-4-3. Menachino bouncing that ball over to first base.
I think this is the fear Lou Piniella has with Edgar. He's walked so much that he's going to get anxious and jumping. You look at this replay. Cameron right on top of Menachino. He has to get out of the way. A lot of speed at first base, Cameron, trying to break up that double play. but we don't want Edgar to get over anxious because he's walking so much that he wants to force it to play.
Olerud, the big curve for a strike on the inside corner.
Well, nobody enjoys walking 4 or 5 times a game. That means you went up there for free. Run the bases for free, we call it. He has to make sure that he swings at strikes, and if they want to walk him, take your walk, and don't go out of the strike zone.
And right off the end of the bat. And Eric Chavez throws high and over Giambi, so Olerud just keeps on going. That'll be an error on the third baseman, Eric Chavez.
Well, that's one of those errors we call lackadaisical. It's not a real physical error. It's one of those ones where it's an easy play. You field the ball, throw it a little sidearm, and flip it over there. Ball gets away from him. And, of course, when you throw it away in this Coliseum, there's a lot of room back there for Olerud to run.
So Chavez overthrows Giambi. And Brett Boone, who doubled into the corner his last at bat, got a man out there, another double would score. A little bit outside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. No television tomorrow, radio only. Jamie Moyer against Tim Hudson. Broadcast time at noon on Cairo News Radio 710 and the Mariners Radio Network. Moyer 5 innings in his first outing against Texas. Tim Hudson has had 2 outings. It's 13 innings, giving up 4 runs.
Well, we look at Jamie Moyer with a 5-inning pitch. It's kind of like spring training. Lou wants him to stretch that out a bit, get into 6th inning, 7th inning, and you know, hand over the ball to the bullpen. At least get 7 innings out of Jamie.
An easy roller back to the mound, and Mulder throws him out. So the error doesn't hurt. No runs, a hit, an error, and a man left. And to the bottom of the 4th, this one's scooting right along. We still have no score. Jason Giambi will lead it off here in the 4th. Jason popped up to McLemore. Change outside. Another change that drops in and over nicely.
Yeah, I'd like to explain what we mean by crosshairs on a guy in the batting order, as Edgar Martinez and Giambi have. You start to count off 0-2. The pitcher likes to throw pitches around the strike zone, those borderline pitches, so they don't give you anything good to hit. And when you have crosshairs on you in the lineup, they want to stay away from you, so they nibble at the strike zone. If they walk you, fine. So you got to hit like 0-2 pitches when you step up there.
Just outside. Mario Valdez is the man on deck. And that's another change. Boy, he's throwing a lot of changes. A steady diet of changes. Threw him a 3-1 change. Now he's going to throw him a fastball in.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, and there's a reason they're trying to stay away from him. 350 average. You look at that, the rest of the team not doing very much.
Went after a pitch right in on him, and he hits a towering pop-up to Boone. Pretty good location.
Well, we talk about location, and we'll take a look at the sequence. We'll look at the pitches here. Starts him off. That pitch away, the runner wants to run it off the plate. Second pitch down low, the perfect pitch. Third pitch just off the corner. Doesn't want to give in to his power. You see him running the ball, just nipping at the corner. Doesn't really want to throw him a strike. Not too concerned if he walks it. Then he gets 3-2, throws a fastball. I'm throwing everything away. I can get inside on it. And he does, jams it.
Nice pitching by Aaron Seeley. Starts off Valdez with a curve for a strike.
As we went through that pitching sequence, Dave, does that remind you of something? Up and in, low and away. It all boils down to that. It all boils down to that simple fact: up and in, low and away.
It's a simple formula. Boy, what a change! 8 fly ball outs, 2 ground ball outs. He's a fly ball pitcher. And that's away, and it's sliced right down the left field line toward the corner. Foul.
And I think what Seeley's done, he's shown these A's hitter that he can throw a changeup, and that's probably his third best pitch, the changeup, and he's put it in the back of their mind that, okay, he has that changeup running off the outside corner, so that makes his fastball that more effective.
The thing that blew me away is the 3-1 change that he threw to Jason Giambi.
Well, you don't want to throw him a fastball. Not 3-1. A hitter's count.
Here comes Uncle Charlie right here with Lowe. I wonder how that curveball got that nickname, Uncle Charlie. Been Uncle Charlie as long as I can remember.
Yeah, Yellowhammer.
Yeah.
Probably Satchel Paige. Remember, he named all his pitches?
Might have been. Fly ball hit to left field. And a rather easy play out there for Mr. McLemore. 2 down. Well, let me ask you something. You looking for an easy way to buy Mariners tickets? Just log on to SeattleMariners.com, your official source for seats for all the big games. Check out the Mariners' newest ticket value. It's a Wednesday family 4-pack. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Pepsis. Just $45. The next Wednesday family 4-pack night is coming up on April the 18th. As the Mariners face the Texas Rangers, SeattleMariners.com. Connect with it. 1 week from tonight, April the 18th. A-Rod and the Rangers will be at Safeco. Here's Miguel Tejada. Ground ball over the mound. Nice play by Boone, and he throws him out. So another easy inning for Aaron Seeley. We got a dandy of a pitching duel going down here in Oakland, California. As we go to the 5th, the Mariners nothing, the A's nothing. So here we go to the 5th. David Bell struck out in the 2nd inning. Mulder starts him out with a big curve. This young man is impressive. Edgar Martinez has 9 home runs right here at the Oakland Coliseum. Number 9 coming last night. Yes, on the inside corner.
David Bell, he didn't like it. He said that ball left-handers have a natural, the ball comes back a little bit when they throw it in the inside corner of the movement. And he says this ball doesn't come back, it's inside. You see that left-hander throw that ball down and in, Mulder, and just nips the inside corner. David Bell didn't agree with Jerry Lane.
You might recall it was David Bell who was the victim of arguing about, not that pitch, but the high strike early in spring training. He was ejected in I think a first or second game of the year down in Arizona.
Kicked out of a charity game.
Yeah. Anthony Sanders went after bad ball, so he's quickly got 2 strikes on him. Mulder certainly has been doing nothing but throwing strikes today. High fastball popped up. Tejada, the shortstop, for the out.
And I think that's where that high strike call we've been talking about comes into effect. It's not necessarily the umpire's going to call it, but players are going to swing at that high pitch out of the zone a little bit more often. This pitch is out of the zone and Sanders pops it up. Tough pitch to get on top of.
Dan Wilson, a fly ball to right center field. Strike one. Boy, I'll tell you, you win a lot of ball games. You start everybody out, strike one. That's what Alama was doing last night. That's what Mulder and Seeley basically are doing tonight. Curveball.
Well, I think as a hitter, you have to walk up there and make a pitcher uncomfortable to throw you strike one, especially with a fastball. And the way to do that is cheat, start the bat early, hit that ball about 400 feet foul, and that pitcher will think twice before he throws a fastball first pitch.
Most notorious first ball fastball hitter I think I ever saw was Paul Molitor. He was on dead red from the moment he stepped in there.
And it not necessarily a strike either. He could hit the chest high ball, one in the dirt. He would just put it and play hard.
Fastball, wow, mighty close.
And I can just hear the echoes from the dugout from David Bell saying, "You called it on me." Be consistent out there. You always hear that from the dugout.
So Wilson takes him full. And there's Charles Gibson, due next. And he walked him. So he got him strike one, strike two, and walked him. Aaron Seeley has done a marvelous job. He's the man down there on the left. Mr. Mulder's spinning a dandy himself.
Well, we're going to have to go a ways to top Kevin Brown and Kurt Schilling the other night, an hour and 55-minute ball game. They grabbed it and threw it and
yeah,
didn't even let the food warm up in the clubhouse.
Last night. And off to the right side this time, and Menechino will throw out Charles Gibson. So here in the fifth, no runs, no hits, and one man left, no score, halfway through it.
Yeah, a little bit of a chilly night here in the East Bay. Welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. The fans are bundled up. Rick Riz along with Hendu, David Henderson. Outstanding pitch ball game in the first 4.5 innings, Hendu.
And Rick, we have our old-fashioned pitchers duel right here. These pitchers are taking control and sitting these guys down in a timely fashion, real quick.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Seeley off to a great start. So is Mark Mulder. And the first pitch. A strike on Eric Chavez. Line drive, center field. Cameron comes up, reaches down, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Mike Cameron. And Hendy, you've been out there many, many times. That's one of the tough plays for any outfielder.
Well, it's pretty tough to judge how well he hit this ball. You don't know if it's going to sink on you or rise. And Cameron gets a great jump. You see him get those fingers down in case the ball dives on him. But that's dangerous for a center fielder, because if it dives on you, it gets by you. But when you got a Gold Glove like Cammy, no problem.
He's about ready to win his first Gold Glove, isn't he? Came close last year. One out. Here's Terrence Long up high, ball one.
Most center fielders have a proverb: you don't have to get one to deserve one. Everybody knows who has the gloves out there.
Line to John Olerud at first base. He makes the catch right off the top of the dirt. So 2 outs for the Athletics here in the 5th.
And you look at Terrence Long's face right there. He hits a line drive. You see the doubt. Am I ever going to get a hit? When young players start off cold, they don't have anything to look back on that they're ever going to get a hit. You see Olerud with his Gold Glove. Nice play, footwork. You see him always moving. Throws that glove down. Makes a nice, easy play.
He's got the hardware to prove it. He's got that trophy in his locker back home in Seattle. Winning his first Gold Glove last year. So quickly 2 outs. Brings up right fielder Jeremy Giambi. Curveball. On a strike, going 1. Jeremy is 0 for 1. Has flied out to McLemore in left field. No score. 1-1. Yeah, it is on the chilly side tonight, but I tell you what, this must feel balmy compared to the start that Aaron had last year at Comerica Park in Detroit. When we helped open up the new ballpark for the Tigers, it was 36 degrees at game time. And then with the wind chill factor, it was like 14 degrees, and Aaron threw a 4-0 shutout.
Yeah, I was glad I watched that one on television, Rick.
Up high. Ball 3, 3-1 on Giambi. There's the pride of Paulsbo right there. Aaron Seeley started Washington State, drafted by the Red Sox. Pops him up. Backing up, Charles Gibson back out of the infield portion. He's got it, leaning to his left, and that's it for the A's. And after 5, no score. Nothing tie as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. Mark Mulder, the young man from the south side of Chicago. He grew up near the same spot where I grew up on the south side. Went to Michigan State, 23 years of age. He's from South Holland, Illinois, same town that Lou Boudreau grew up. Hall of Famer with the Indians. Here's Mark McLemore. Mac is 0 for 2 tonight. Last time up, lined out to Long in center field. Ball 1. Mariners have only 2 hits. So do the A's. 1-1.
Mark Mulder introduced himself. You see there are 64 pitches to the Mariners.
Up and in, pitch number 65, ball 2, 2-1.
And we always talk about a pitcher facing a club for the first time. They always have the advantage because nobody has anything to go on, any history with a pitcher.
And this is Mulder's first career start against Seattle. We saw him for a little while at spring training in that 1 start. Hendo, you and I were talking with Jason Isringhausen last night before the ball game, the A's closer, about Mulder. He said that so far, you know, he'll go along and pitch very well, but then run into that 1 bad inning. He has yet to do that. He's gone to 3-2 on McLemore. Strike 3 called. 1 out for the Mariners here in the 6th. Strikeout number 5 for Mark Mulder. 1 away.
Oh, we look at this pitch right here. It's a perfect pitch. He's trying to throw this ball low on the knees, but he gets it right low on the outside corner. One of those pitches unhittable. Max says, I tip my hat. You made a great pitch on me. I'll go sit down.
Here's center fielder Mike Cameron. Mike has one of the 2 hits off of Mulder tonight. A single up the middle into center field in the 4th. 0-1. Cameron came into the ball game batting .360. 0-2. One after pitch down and away.
Well, good changeup from Mulder, and I think Cameron's thinking like me. This guy is in a rhythm. He's throwing all of his pitches exactly where he wants to, so you got to get him out of rhythm. Get him to back up a base.
Up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's how you get a pitcher out of his rhythm. You get him to back up third base and get him in a stretch so he can change the pattern, get him out of his rhythm.
Curve. Misses outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good eye by Mike Cameron. Fastball in. And he misses with it. Not by much. Ball 3. Full count 3-2.
And you can see him just nipping at that inside and outside corner. Edgar on deck. Cameron taking some mighty close pitches.
1 away, 1 in. The last 2. Out of play in the first base side, and the count stays full at 3-2. Edgar Martinez, we showed a picture there of Edgar on deck. He's been going to school. This is his first look at Mark Mulder. He's studying every pitch. He's had 2 at-bats against him. He's filing away just a lot of information right now before he gets up there. Cameron doing his job, making Mulder work and throw a lot of pitches in that number 2 spot. There's another foul ball out of play.
And I think it's very important that Cameron gets on base, so they pitch to Edgar differently. Of course, with nobody on base, they can just mess around, throw him any pitch. But with Cameron on base, they have to throw to Edgar.
Curveball, got him looking. Strike 3 called. So back-to-back strikeouts for Mark Mulder here on the top of the 6th inning. 2 down. 6 strikeouts for Mulder. Man, that was a heck of a pitch.
Well, we talked to Isenhauser about Mulder, and we look at this 3-2 breaking ball, and it's right there. Remember, that's not an easy pitch because you don't want to walk him. He has confidence. Like an old veteran, Izzy said, this guy pitches way beyond his years. You see 6 strikeouts and a lot on the looking variety.
So 2 up and 2 down. Here's Edgar for the 3rd time tonight. And he takes a look at ball 1.
Well, these are the kind of at-bats Edgar has to really concentrate because they don't want to give him anything to hit, and he can't go out of the zone and make an out just to make an out so he gets to play, you know, because nobody wants to walk 4 times. Not fun.
Edgar out in front of the count at 2-0. Edgar took one out of the ballpark last night to right center field, his first home run of the year. Well, here's a look at the home run leaders brought to you by Home Depot. Most career home runs against, and Edgar has 24 against the Minnesota Twins. Ball 4. So Edgar Martinez with a walk on 4 straight pitches. Mariners have the go-ahead run aboard with 2 outs here in the 6th, and that's only the 2nd walk given up by Mark Mulder.
And Edgar has to really concentrate from getting bored of walking and saying, they're not going to pitch to me. I'm going to go out of the strike zone to try to get hits. And that could be very dangerous when you do that.
Yeah, you don't want to go out of the strike zone. That's the 9th time that Edgar has walked in 5 games against the Oakland A's. Here's John Olerud. John is 0 for 2. He was safe on the throwing error, the 2-base throwing error by third baseman Eric Chavez, his last time up in the 4th. No score. We're in the 6th. One and 1. And to one of the key at-bats in last night's win was the long battle between Carlos Guillen and Gil Heredia early in last night's game. Carlos made him work a 12-pitch at-bat with 2 outs, and he walked. That led to a run. Dan Wilson had an infield single, and then David Bell lined a base hit to left field. The Mariners picked up their first run last night.
Well, you talk about key, and Heredia ended up with 91 pitches, but he was stressful the whole time, and Carlos Guillen extended that inning so much the Mariners came back and scored the next inning also.
All 2-1 on Olerud. Carlos played an outstanding ball game last night. Has the night off tonight. Charles Gibson getting the start at shortstop. Mulder's second start of the season. Lost against Anaheim 5-4, going 5 1/3 innings. Line drive into left field. Johnny Damon is there, and he makes the catch for out number 3. After 5.5 innings of play here at the Oakland Coliseum, still the Mariners nothing and the Athletics nothing. No score, a real pitcher's duel tonight as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Only 2 hits aside, and young Mr. Mulder and the veteran Aaron Seeley Hendo are getting the job done in a hurry tonight.
Well, the thing about it, they always talk about batters slumping. You look at 57 pitches for Aaron and 84 for Mulder, but sooner or later you're going to have to start giving these pitchers a little credit, don't you think?
Absolutely. They've been both outstanding. Here's catcher Sal Fasano, a check swing, cost him a strike, 0-1. Fasano is 0 for 1, has grounded out to Gibson at short.
Well, you hear all the talk about the Oakland A's struggling with the bat and all that. Sooner or later, they're going to have to give the Mariners pitching staff a little credit. They have something to do with that.
5 games against the Mariners. This is game number 5 between these two clubs. Mariners are 3-1 against Oakland. They've done it with pitching.
Is it a coincidence they're not swinging the bats well? Well, yeah, they're facing a Mariners staff.
Down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Fasano. As a team, the A's this year in 7 games batting only .219. Got him. 1 out for the Athletics. Here in the 6th, Aaron Seeley with his first strikeout tonight. Fastball up.
Well, just challenging with a fastball. Got Fasano thinking breaking ball. And of course, when Seeley has that good breaking ball, all the hitters in the back of their mind are thinking, okay, here comes that curve. Uh-oh, there goes a fastball right by you.
Both these guys have a breaking ball that makes their fastball even look a little quicker. Here's Johnny Damon. 0-1. Johnny Damon 1 for 2 tonight, but Damon against Seeley, a .357 hitter against Aaron with a home run. And Aaron has punched him out 9 times. 1 ball and 1 strike. Johnny Damon 1 for 2 now, batting just .148, but normally gets off to a slow start. Fouled away, and the count is 1-2. Last year he was 0 for 17 to start the year. The year before that 1 for 16. However, you take a look at the numbers at the end of the year. That's when they count. Last year with Kansas City, this guy hit .327 and scored 136 runs to lead the league. Curve is popped foul and out of play on the third base side, and it's still 1-2.
And it's amazing that a player has a history like that. His Aprils or so hits about .240, and then he gets to June, July, and August, and he hits .400, .430 for the full month. And it does average out when you're a veteran.
Here's a look at the last 3 years. In April for Johnny Damon, he's averaged just .250. Inside, he backs away from ball 2 balls and 2 strikes. In an effort to change those numbers, what do you do that last week of the spring?
Well, they say it has something to do with spring training, and I'm more that it's weather. If you start off in the East and the Midwest, it's just cold.
Ground ball chopped to short, and Gibson boots it after he tries to make the transfer. Johnny Damon is safe over at first base on an error by Charles Gibson. Ground ball right at him as he's trying to get the ball out of his glove. He lost it, Andy.
And I think you look at Carlos Guillen there looking at it, and the speed makes Gibson hurry a little bit on anybody that doesn't have that kind of speed. He just feels that ball cleanly, throws to first. But back of his mind is Johnny Damon running. I have to hurry a little bit.
Got it off the heel of his glove. Johnny Damon on at first base with 1 out here in the 6th. No score. Brings up second baseman Frank Menachino, who has 0 for 2. We'll see Seeley make a few tosses over the first base to keep Damon close. You'll see Aaron use the slide step when he delivers to the plate to give Dan Wilson a chance to try to throw out Damon should he try to steal.
And Johnny Damon's not a guy that runs 100 times trying to steal bases. He just doesn't get caught. He had 46 bags last. He only caught 5 times.
Pitch out by Dan Wilson, holding at first base Damon, and it's 1-0 Menachino. So the Mariners thought that Damon might be running with the first pitch. They called for the pitch out. 1 on, 1 away. Art Howell makes the decisions for the Athletics. Throw to first base to get Damon back. Let's see what Art has in mind during this at bat to Menachino. He's got Giambi due up next. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Seeley has to be a little bit careful right now because this is where a guy like Menachino can hurt you. You get 2-0. Your thoughts are with Johnny Damon at first base. You throw a fastball right down the middle, and he's got a little sock for a little guy.
He's flat out twice. Fly ball into deep left field. McLemore will have the room out there in front of the one-inning track to make the catch. 2 away as Johnny Damon makes his way back to first base. You're right, little guy has some pop in his bat.
Well, he got the pitch, he just missed it, and Seeley looking back saying, okay, I remember that in the scouting report, but I got away with one. See the disgust on Menachino. Frank down going back to the dugout. I got my pitch, I should have headed out of the ballpark.
1 on 2 outs. The rough thing about the year now, Hendu, is that you've got to take a look at Giambi with a man aboard. Jason Giambi is 0 for 2. He's flied out to McLemore left and has popped up to second baseman Brett Boone. Ball 1.
And they pitched him very carefully through this whole series. And the same with Edgar Martinez. Giambi's the guy that they're going to throw the pitch just off the plate, just inside, and try to make him get himself out with a ball.
1-1. Changeup from Aaron Seeley. Aaron went to 3-2 on Giambi in that last at bat in the 4th inning, then got him to pop up to Boone at second. Ball 2, 2-1. Last year's American League MVP. But against the Mariners this year, Giambi batting just .154. But he can do a lot of damage with just one swing of the bat. No score, bottom half of the 6th. 1 on 2 outs. On Damon. That's ball 3. 3-1 on Giambi. On deck is Mario Valdez. Valdez 0 for 2 tonight with only 4 at bats on the season.
Well, Rick, we get a shot at the outfield. This is where, if you're in the outfield, you back up a few steps because you play this game like it's late. 0-0 ball game. Giambi, a double. You got a chance to keep Damon from not scoring.
There he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second by Dan Wilson is in time to get Johnny Damon. It bounces in. Gibson covering with the catch, and then the tag on Johnny Damon to retire the side. So that's it for the A's after 6 innings of play. Still no score. No scores. We go to the top half of inning number 7 here in Oakland. Dan Wilson and Charles Gibson combined on a fine play to throw out Johnny Damon in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. Damon running. And watch this play right here in this throw, Hendu, to get Johnny Damon.
Well, the throw, it's a one hopper, and you see Gibson get right down in there dirty and trying to block this game, and he gets a little elbow from Johnny Damon. When he slides into him, Gibson, usually you want to get out of there, a little elbow to the face right there.
Whoa.
But he was out, and we get a shot at Dan Wilson going, yeah, all right, got one of the best base stealers in the game.
Nice play, Charles. That was our Pennzoil protection play, brought to you by Pennzoil. Got his head in there, made a nice play. Brett Boone leading off the 7th inning. Fastball from Mulder, up and away, ball 1. What a game. Great pitching tonight. Booney 1 for 2 with a double down the left field line. Ball 2.
Well, this is the type of ball game you start looking for a hero. Somebody sit on a pitch, 2-0 fastball, and hit it out of the park.
This guy could do it. He hit his first home run of the year on Sunday down in Texas, the left center field. He had 19 home runs last year with the Padres and missed the last 6 weeks of the season with a knee injury. Big swing and a foul, and the count is even on Brett at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mark Mulder didn't pitch against the Mariners last year, was 9-10 for Oakland in 27 starts. Breaking ball. Did he go? Nope. He appealed down to the first base umpire. Making the call is Paul Schreiber, and the count is full on Boone, 3-2. Mariners have had their leadoff hitter on only once tonight against Mulder. Fouled away, still 3-2 on Brett. And that was a single by Mike Cameron leading off the 4th, Hendu. And when you can do that, you stay out of trouble.
Well, the art of pitching, getting ahead of the hitters, and Aaron Seeley doing the exact same thing. And most importantly, staying away from the dangerous guys. Jeremy Giambi and Edgar Martinez.
Fly ball down the right field side, slicing foul and out of play up in a crowd, and it's still 3-2. Players wearing their sleeves underneath their jerseys on a cold night. Up and in, ball 4. So Brett Boone with a leadoff walk here in the 7th inning. 3rd walk given up by Mark Mulder. And only the 2nd time the Mariners have had that leadoff man aboard.
Well, time of the ball game where Lou Piniella, he says, okay, I let you guys swing the bat and all that. Now I'm going to have to start managing. Take it out of their hands and put it in his hand and dictate the ball game.
Trying to manufacture a run right here, and David Bell can lay down a bunt. Throw to first base as Boone gets back. Chavez charging in from 3rd base. Giambi playing at the bag to keep Brett close. Here's a look at Chavez at 3rd. One attempt fouled away by Bell. Again, another chance. 0-1 on David. Made that incredible play last night. And a ball hit by Johnny Damon into the hole at short. Diving stop. Ball released behind him. David fishing for the ball, spinning around on his backside. The seat of his pants threw Damon out at first base. What a great play. Another move to first.
Well, the defense really crashing in on David Bell, and you see first baseman, 3rd baseman really crashing in about 2 or 3 feet. When he turns around, they're right in here, and so Lou might be inclined to take the bunt off.
Bunt attempt up the first base line, and it's going to roll foul. 0-2 on David Bell, and now David will have to swing away as Boone heads on back to first base. Last night, Dan Wilson had 2 sacrifice bunts, one up the first base line where Ramon Hernandez, a catcher, ran up the back of the pitcher trying to field the ball. I believe it was Matthews.
And Valdez was playing first base at that time. That he blocked and impeded Dan Wilson's right to run the first base. So Lou thought it was an obstruction.
Inside, 1-2. A lot of umpires of the crowd wanted Jerry Lane to call that one a strike. Missed inside, 1-2 on David. Fouled away. Activity down in the Oakland bullpen. Right-hander Jimmy Mercier warming up, former Mariner. Came over to Oakland from Tampa Bay last year. Pitched very well for the Athletics. Outside and off the glove of Fasano. Wait a second. This would be called strike 3, and David Bell can't believe it. So David Bell turns around now and heads on back to the dugout. He didn't like strike 3 called on him back in the 5th inning. Jerry Lane says strike 3 this time. It's the 3rd time that David has struck out. Lou Piniella comes out of the dugout, and now Lou's going to pick up the conversation with Jerry Lane. You cannot argue balls and strikes, and I think Lou's just going out there to try to
get an explanation of what happened, because the ball wasn't caught by Fasano, and usually when a catcher can't catch it, it's usually not a strike. And David Bell thought this pitch was off the plate away, and he goes to Lou and says, I didn't foul it off. What's going on? This pitch is outside. It looks like it's way outside, and you can see Fasano trying to frame it and bring it back to the strike zone. So it's a pitch way outside that Lane calls, punches him out with.
1 out and 1 away. Toss over to first base, and Boone gets back. And I thought it was going to be a ball right away because, number one,
it was a ball.
Yeah, looked outside to me, and Fasano didn't catch it. And like you said, he was trying to frame it. So, I mean, he was caught in the act.
Well, the bottom line, if the catcher doesn't think it's a strike.
Yeah. Fly ball into left center field. Calling for it, Terrence Long, the center fielder. But cutting across is Johnny Damon to make the catch right in front of Long. 2 outs.
Well, they got to have a conversation about that, because the center fielder is the boss, and he gets everything. Johnny Damon, of course, a former center fielder, used to that role, calling off people and taking charge. But Terrence Long, he's got to have a little meeting with the guys. I'm the center fielder. It's my ball when I say I've got it.
I'm in charge out here, but Johnny Damon cutting across to get to it. 2 outs. 1 on, and here's catcher Dan Wilson. Still no score. We're in the 7th. Low and inside, ball 1. Remember years ago, back in 1990, Junior and Senior playing together. Senior was out in left field. Junior was out in center. Senior was calling for the ball. It was his. It was out in left field. Junior came flying across and caught the ball in front of his dad. Woo! Senior was hot.
Says, I got it. I'm the boss out here. You're not dad. I'm the center fielder.
Well, I'm still dad out here too, son. And you don't do that to your pops out here. And Senior was upset. 99 pitches for Mark Mulder. Ground ball to short. Tejada is there. Little toss to Menachino, covering second for the force on Brett Boone. And that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning here in Oakland. Still no score. Jason Giambi leads it off, and he takes a change for a strike from Aaron Seeley. 0-1. Nice pitch. Jason Giambi 0 for 2. He was in the box when Johnny Damon was thrown out at second trying to steal to retire the side in the 6th. Aaron Seeley has pitched a great ball game. 2 hits. Fouled away. 0-2 on Giambi. Now let's see if he tries to make him chase that breaking ball in the dirt. Seeley has one of the best curveballs in the league. There it is, but he left it alone. Ball one, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Rick, you saw the little shake of the glove of Dan Wilson catching. That means bounce it. I want you to bounce this curveball so he can chase a ball.
The 1-2. Curve, check swing. Did he go? He did not. The appeal down to the third base umpire, Ed Montague. 2-2. Tonight's paid attendance, 16,652. A lot of hot Tully's coffee being served tonight. Out of play on the left field side. Still 2-2 on Giambi. It's been 24 plate appearances since the last base hit, a Mike Cameron single back in the 4th inning combined for both these ball clubs. That gives you an idea what these 2 starters have been doing. Seeley and Mulder, strike 3 called. Got him with a fastball up and in. Jason Giambi is caught looking, and that is strikeout number 2 for Aaron Seeley.
Well, and that's what they mean by call it the same both ways. If you're going to call it on David Bell, call it on Jason Giambi. This ball in a little bit up, runs back over the plate, borderline pitch, but he's called that pitch all night on the Mariners. You see the late movement on that ball coming back to the strike zone. So the Mariners dugout saying call it both ways.
And Jerry Lane has been calling that pitch for a strike in the inside corner. Here's designated hitter Mario Valdez. Valdez 0 for 2. He's popped to short, flied out to McLemore in left field. Ball 1. Jim Mercier warming up again for the A's. Sean Halama last night 6 1/3. And here's Seeley working into the 7th inning. His last start, he went 6 innings in a 10-2 win against Oakland back home in Seattle. Game 3 of that series.
And I think that's what Lou is looking for, his started pitchers to go deep in the ball games. And of course, Seeley has that in his repertoire, over 200 innings pitched every year.
2-1. This guy's been one of the most consistent pitchers in the major leagues. The last 5 years, 84 pitches for Aaron. Up and away, ball 3, 3-1. No score, bottom of the 7th inning. On deck is shortstop Miguel Tejada. Mariners won last night 5-1 to improve their record on this road trip to 3-1. Fouled away, full count, 3-2. And Hendu behind in the count. Aaron, a few times he's been behind in the count, has come up with a quality pitch.
And I think that's the key, because one swing of the bat could change this game around. And when you get 3-1, the hitter knows the fastball's coming. That means you got to run it to the outside corner, make him go opposite way if he is going to hit a home run.
Up and away, ball 4. So Valdez with a walk, and that's the first walk given up by Aaron Seeley tonight. 1 on and 1 away for shortstop Miguel Tejada.
Now batting, shortstop Miguel Tejada.
Tejada has grounded out twice, and that's what Aaron Seeley would like to have him do right here. A chance for the double play. He has grounded out to Gibson at short. He's also grounded out to Boone at second base. There's a look at Valdez. The first pitch is a strike on Tejada 0-1. Now this is Gibson's first start at shortstop, replacing Carlos Guillen there tonight. He's talking things over with Brett Boone. Boone said, listen, anything back to Seeley. Tejada batting .345 against Seeley. Line drive into left field. McLemore comes up with a dive and a rolling catch. McLemore in left field, sinking line drive. McLemore comes up to make an outstanding play. 2 outs for the A's here on the 7th.
Well, you said it, Rick. You look at Mark out there. Mac, he's not played a lot of outfield, but he's a good athlete. You got to make a decision quick on this ball, because if it gets by you, you're going to score from first base. He makes a decision. I'm going to go for this ball, and it's going to stay up for me. A great catch by Mac, and Lou doesn't have any fear of putting him in the outfield. And you look at Tejada going, what do I got to do? We always say a line drive's no good. Base hits are a lot better.
What a catch by McLemore in left field. Eric Chavez, a strike 0-1, a rolling catch out there by McLemore to rob Miguel Tejada. So 2 outs for Oakland with 1 on. Eric Chavez tonight, he's 1 for 2 with a double down the right field line. And Hendu, he Tommy hawked the pitch. It was way up and in. Drilled it down the right field line. Ground ball wide of first, but right there is Brett Boone. Easy play for Booney, and that's it for Chavez and the Oakland A's in the 7th inning. What a game for Aaron Seeley and Mark Mulder. But Mulder's done. Here comes Jim Messier. No score after 7. No score here at the Oakland Coliseum as we go to the top of the 8th inning, and Ichiro will lead things off. He'll pinch hit for Charles Gibson to try to get something going, and Ichiro has his fans here at the Oakland Coliseum. Jim Messier is the new pitcher. He'll take over from Mark Mulder to work the 8th inning. And
only been in a couple of games with a nice ERA, but the 3 walks. And the important thing about Messier is that palm ball, the screwball that he throws. And hopefully somebody told Ichiro that it is his out pitch. That screwball, it's an ephus pitch that goes about 60, 70 miles an hour, but with a lot of movement.
Here's Ichiro to lead things off. Pinch hitting for Charles Gibson. Oh, and 1. Ichiro batting .364, 1 home run. That was the game winner down in Texas. First game in this road trip. Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2.
And I tried to warn him about that pitch when I did the scouting report, but until you go up there and see it yourself, everybody can tell you that he has a good screwball, but you have to go see the speed yourself. And hopefully he'll make the adjustment. He's seen it one time.
Fastball high and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. All the cameras, Japanese media pointed right at number 51. Fly ball into shallow left field. Tejada going out. That ball's going to drop in. A bloop single for Ichiro. Up with the ball is Johnny Damon. So Ichiro with a pinch hit leadoff single here in the top of the 8th inning. The Mariners have the go-ahead run aboard.
Well, Rick, he didn't hit it good, but he did make the adjustment on the screwball. He got the screwball, stayed back just enough, hit it off the end of the bat, but that high fastball before this gets your eyes on about 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. Then he comes with that 75 mile an hour. Love 30, serve it out in the left field. Johnny Damon, no chance. That's a blooper.
Right in between Johnny Damon and Miguel Tejada going out on the play, so Ichiro's on at first base. Here's Mark McLemore, but a toss to first, and Ichiro gets back. Mark 0 for 3. Made that great catch in the bottom of the 7th inning on the ball hit by Miguel Tejada. Way up close is Chavez. Up high, ball 1 as McLemore showed bunt.
Oh, you start to look at the defense. You see Eric Chavez right here. He's way in defending the bunt, and when a third baseman charges that far, Lou has a tendency to say, swing the bat.
And he did. With Ichiro running, and McLemore fouls it away. So that's exactly And you made the call. What Lou was thinking about, swing the bat, and Eric Chavez says, "Thank you very much." You fouled it away.
Well, this game is pretty simple. The defense dictates what you do as a manager and a player. And if he's going to take the bunt away that far, being this close in, and when he squares around, Lou has no choice but to let him swing away. Take your chances.
There goes the runner, swinging a ground ball, wide up third, gets on by Chavez. Ichiro heading for third. He's going to make it easily. So Lou says, okay, if you're going to take away the bunt, I'll have him swing away. A base hit through the left side by McLemore. And now the Mariners have runners on at first and third with nobody out.
Well, we saw the defense of Chavez trying to cheat. You see how close he is. Lou has no alternative but to let him swing away. And when you're playing that depth, any ground ball is going to get by you. So Chavez was cheating a little bit. You see Ichiro running. He sees the ground ball, sees there's nobody at third. He's going to make the third standing up easy.
And the ball wasn't hit that hard, so it's going to die out there in left field. So Ichiro had the chance to scoot around to third base. The go-ahead run is only 90 feet away.
Well, that's why you don't play third base defensively that way, that close, that quick. So you're supposed to let the guy bunt the ball and then charge. You can't charge before he squares around, or the manager has no course but to let you swing.
You're still going to make the play on the bunt if you lay back a little bit. Here's Mike Cameron with nobody out. Ball one.
To put it in a nutshell, Eric Chavez got caught cheating a little bit.
Mike Cameron checks in with third base coach Dave Myers. Cammy 1 for 3. That was a base hit to center field, a single in the fourth. Go to first. McLemore gets back. You have good speed on the bases. Ichiro at third. McLemore at first base. Out of play on the first base side. 1-1 on Cameron. Mike had some good at-bats in last night's game. He was 1 for 4, but he also had a sacrifice fly to drive in a big run late in the ball game.
Well, you've got the guys at the plate that you want. You got Cameron, Edgar, and Olrud coming up with a guy on third. So you got your RBI guys in place with a guy on third, less than 2 outs, no outs. So this is a game right here.
Inside, ball 2. 2-1. And again, Cameron looks down at Myers at third base, coaching. Aaron Seeley has pitched a tremendous ball game tonight. He's given up only 2 hits. Nothing tie. Mariners a chance to give Aaron a run right here in the 8th. There goes McLemore, swinging a ground ball to short. Mariners will get a run. They'll stay out of the double play. Cameron is out, but he picks up an RBI. Mariners lead 1-0. Lou sends McLemore. Ichiro scores from third on the infield out by Mike Cameron. And the Mariners score the first run of this ball game to take a 1-0 lead here in the 8th.
And that's what you can do if you're a manager and you have speed on your ball club. You don't have to wait and see what happens. You can send McLemore that had over 20 bags last year, stolen bases. So you stay out of the double play and you get another man in the scoring position while scoring the run.
And here's Edgar. Fastball at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Edgar 0 for 2 tonight. 1 for 1 last night with a home run to right center field, and he walked 4 times. 0-2. Here's a look at Ichiro coming home, Hendu.
Yeah, Cameron hits this ball. Of course, Ichiro going on contact. The ball's hit to the shortstop, and you're going to score easy.
One ball and 2 strikes. And now that's a big run out there at second base, and Mark McLemore to give the Mariners a little bit of breathing room. They have a 1-0 lead here in the 8th. We're going to have some activity down to the bullpen for the Mariners. Kazuhiro Sasaki, who had a save last night, begins to warm up. And it's low to Edgar for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball deep at short. Tejada with a backhanded stop. And he gets Edgar at first. 2 outs. McLemore has to stay at second base. Here's a look at your Les Schwab League leaders with the highest on-base percentage after the 6th inning. The Mariners on top, Hendu.
Well, that just says it takes them a little time to get started. These guys get their base hits and they cause all the trouble after the 6th inning. Leading baseball.
Followed by San Diego and Philadelphia. They're going to take the bat away from John Olerud. So John will get the intentional walk right here, and they'll work to Brett Boone, the right-handed Batabooney, against Jim Mercier. The Mariners lead 1-0 on the infield out by Mike Cameron. That scored Ichiro, who got things going here in the 8th inning with a pinch hit, bloop base hit into left field. McLemore followed with a single through the left side of the infield with Chavez playing up close at third base. There's ball 4, so Olerud with the walk. Now the Mariners have 2 on with 2 outs. Brings up second baseman Brett Boone. Boone has been aboard a couple of times with a walk and a double. Ball 1. Olerud on at first. McLemore on at second with 2 outs and a run in. One and 1 the count.
Everybody wants to get a look at that screwball that Mercier throws, and Boone gets a good look at it right there, puts it in his memory bank and says, okay, I got the speed down. I got to look at it. And so now I got a chance to hit it.
Aaron Seeley says thank you very much for that run, fellas. Mariners trying to get another. Fly ball into deep left center field. Terrence Long on the run, reaches up and he can't get to it. It's on the track and off the wall. McLemore will score. John Olerud right behind him. A 2-out, 2-run double by Brett Boone here in the 8th inning as the Mariners grab a 3-0 lead. Clutch base hit. Terrence Long slow getting up. He just missed it deep in left center field.
Well, Boone coming up with a big hit after they walk John Olerud. We look at this pitch. It's that palm ball. He gets it right in the middle of the plate. And Terrence Long, he says, I got it, I got it, I got it. Just runs out of room, and he starts to smell that gap, that wall out there. And when you get on that warning track, it's just off the tip of his glove. He says he thinks he should have caught that ball. That's why he's laying down, and he has that look on his face that I make that play.
Brett Boone with a 2-run double with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. John Olerud scores behind Mark McLemore. Mariners with a 3-0 lead for Aaron Seeley. There's a strike on David Bell.
And David Bell having that conversation with Jerry Lane, the umpire, last time up, didn't say the right thing.
And the count is 0-2 on David. John Olerud hustling it around to score run number 3. There's a look at Boone out there at second base. His second double of the ball game, scoring a couple. Strike 3 called, and David Bell tosses the bat away. Can't believe it. He thought that pitch was low. But the Mariners come away with 3 runs. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mariners 3, the Athletics nothing. We've got some defensive changes for the Mariners. Ichiro in right field. He came up with that leadoff bloop single to get things going in the 3-run 8th. And now over at shortstop is Carlos Guillen. Ichiro pinch hit for Charles Gibson, tonight's starting shortstop. Aaron Seeley has pitched very, very well. Look at the numbers for Aaron Seeley. 7 innings. He walked only 1. Line drive right back up the middle, a base hit for Terrence Long. So he jumps on Seeley's first pitch and rips it right back through the middle. That's only the 3rd hit tonight off of Aaron Seeley. Activity down in the Mariners bullpen. You see the right-hander Paniagua warming up along with the veteran left-hander Norm Charlton.
And Aaron Seeley giving Lou a lot of innings, and Lou in return says, okay, you only got 92 pitches. I'm going to let you go ahead with this ball game and see if you can get out of this jam. Give you 1 hitter, maybe 2, because it's not the go-ahead run, the tying run at plate yet.
Got the bottom part of the order. Jeremy Giambi pops one up, shallow center field. Cameron coming in, calling for it. Mike says, please get out of my way, and he makes the catch. 1 out for the Athletics here in the 8th. Brett Boone hustling out there to help out, but Cammy had time to hustle in and make the play. So 1 on, 1 away. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Sal Fasano. Here is Ramon Hernandez to bat for Fasano. Hernandez, the starting catcher, batting for Fasano, who gets the start tonight. Fasano, the backup catcher in Oakland. So Art Howe goes to his bench to get Ramon Hernandez, batting .280, no home runs and a couple of runs batted in.
Well, a simple play by Art Howe getting Hernandez in the ball game because he's the better hitter of the catchers and he plays the majority of the time, and he forces Lou Piniella not to do anything, because if he sends a left-handed hitter up there, he's got Norm Charlton ready for the left-handed hitters in the bullpen.
Lou has so many options down to the bullpen with the 2 left-handers in Charlton and Rhodes, and very effective right-handers in Jeff Nelson and Paniagua, the setup man. And then you've got the closer in Kazuhiro Sasaki. And then you got the long guy, Ryan Franklin, who's been absolutely brilliant in relief.
Well, these guys, before long, they're going to be fighting over the ball. They're all pitching so well that it's going to be tough who to decide to go in the ballgame.
First pitch, a strike to Hernandez, 0-1. Aaron Seeley right now 7 1/3, the longest by a Mariners starter the first week of the season. Infield, double play depth. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aaron Seeley, 94 pitches, Hendu.
And what he's done is he's thrown about 15 changeups, and that's a little bit more than he normally throws. He usually goes with a curveball, but he's thrown the changeup a little bit more this ball.
That's inside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Oakland made it very interesting late in the ball game last night, coming back a few times. The bullpen got the job done behind John Halama. Sasaki picking up his 4th save of the year. Halama the win. Out of play on the first base side, and the count is even on Hernandez at 2-2. Aaron Seeley's complete game shutout against the Detroit Tigers in Detroit last year was 1 year ago tomorrow, when he had that shutout on a bitterly cold night in downtown Detroit. Inside, ball 3, full count, 3-2. The A's haven't been close to a run tonight, except for the 1-out double by Chavez back in the 2nd inning. He was stranded there. 1 on, 1 away. Popped up, first base side, no play for John Olerud, even with all that room over there on the first base side, and the count is still 3-2 on Hernandez.
Well, we often wonder, how does a manager make a decision to take a pitcher out of the ball game when he's sailing like this with a shutout? It's usually dictated by the lineup, the hitters coming up, Johnny Damon coming up, and the score. If Hernandez gets a hit, the tying run will be at the plate, so Lou's probably forced to take Seeley out of the ball game.
Dan Wilson wants a fastball away. Ground ball, base hit into right field. Heading for third is Terrence Long. The throw by Ichiro. Beautiful. Peggy got him. Holy smoke, a laser beam strike from Ichiro to the third baseman, David Bell, and Terrence Long is gunned down at third base. What a throw. 2 outs.
And with that base running by Terrence Long, he keeps Aaron Seeley in the ball game. He forgets it's Ichiro in the outfield. This is a ground ball where you can never make this out. This is the tying run. You can't. He throws a laser low to the ground about 6 feet off. Is that a strike? If you can call that as an umpire, that's right down the middle strike, baby. Look at that arm, people. Terrence Long makes it ill-advised trying to go to third base. No way he should try this, but this is a beautiful throw, a strike right down the middle like David Bell was a catcher.
And it doesn't get any better than that. A perfect throw by Ichiro to third baseman David Bell. A line drive strike right to Bell. He was waiting for Terrence Long to get the tag on the sliding Long. What an arm on this young man from Japan. Terrence Long is back inside the dugout with 2 outs here in the 8th. What a throw.
And a young mistake right there. There's no way you should try to get the third on that ball because the tying run's coming to the plate, and that's the only reason Aaron Seeley's in the ball game. You look at Ichiro saying, hey, guys, you didn't read the scouting report? I've got a cannon out there.
Here's Johnny Damon, and he takes a pitch outside. Ball 1. Mariners lead 3-0. Johnny Damon is 1 for 3. That was a leadoff single way back in the first inning. It doesn't get any better than that. What a throw by Ichiro. Strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Folks, we get a chance to enjoy this one more time. After this pitch coming up to Johnny Damon. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. The 1-1. Ground ball to short. Carlos Guillen will go to second for a force right there on Hernandez, and that will retire the side. And here's a look at that great throw by Ichiro to get Terrence Long at third base for the second out of the inning. It was perfect. Mariners lead 3-0. We go to the 9th. 3-0 Mariners lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning here in Oakland. And Hendu, what a great throw by Ichiro to nail Terrence Long at third base in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, you look at this form right over the top. A perfect strike to David Bell at third base. And I think the most impressive thing about this is the height of the ball. It's only about 4 feet off the ground, a bullet. David Bell gets in his catcher's gear and says fastball right down the middle, and he hits a glove.
That was absolutely perfect. Here's a look at it one more time. The base hit by Hernandez with Long aboard. Long's heading for third. Look how quickly he gets rid of it, and he throws a laser beam strike right on the bag. Wow, what a throw.
Well, that's what stars are made of. You make plays like that, and that gets around the league real quick.
We've got a new pitcher for the Oakland A's. Left-hander Mike Magnani on in relief to work the 9th inning, and he delivers a strike on new shortstop Carlos Guillen, 0-1. So this is Guillen batting in Sanders' spot in the order as you take a look at Magnani and his numbers in just 2 games. Fouled away by Carlos, 0-2 the count. What's even more impressive, and that's pretty impressive what he did. He's been sitting the entire game on a cool night here in Oakland. He goes out, gets a leadoff single to ignite a 3-run top half of the inning. Then in the bottom half of the inning, comes up with a great throw.
And we're talking about throwing out a guy, a center fielder in his own right that has great speed.
Carlos backs away from ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we'll be seeing that one on the highlight shows later on tonight.
Well, that's how you serve notice to the league. You set a precedent. Hey, I'm throwing out Terrence Long, not some big lead-footed catcher. I'm throwing a BB. You serve notice to the league that I've got a cannon out there, and from now on, people won't even run. So
don't try to take the extra base on me. I get you. 3-0 Mariners lead. Ground ball to short. Tejada. Toss across. Got him. Good hustle by Guillen coming up the line. But 1 out for the Mariners here in the top half of the 9th inning. We've got a new catcher, Ramon Hernandez. It was Hernandez who got that base into the right field. That made Terrence Long think that he might be able to sneak into third base, but forget about it.
And
Long
the base
out.
hit, and we were talking about the base hit in regards to Aaron Seeley. That base hit gets him out of the ball game if Terrence Long stays at second, because Lou's not going to let him face the tying run at the plate and a Johnny Damon.
Yeah, he had Charlton and Paniagua warming up. Here's Dan Wilson, looks at a pitch low, ball one.
We always talk about one pitch, one play turning a ball game. That was a big play that turned everything around, kept Seeley in the ball game, and just get to use Sasaki to close it out.
Popped up into shallow right field. Jeremy Giambi is there and makes the catch for out number 2. So the A's will see Kazuhiro Sasaki in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And here is Ichiro as you take a look at Aaron Seeley back inside that dugout, who pitched a masterful ball game tonight. And here's Ichiro.
Ichiro getting a great hand from the fans, and a couple boo birds out from the Oakland A's fans, but he's on display. He's putting on a show for people, and that's what it's about, entertaining. And he's a great entertainer.
Very entertaining young man. He has a flare bottom, little tapper back to the mound, picked up by Magnani to throw to first. Is in time to get Ichiro hustling up that line to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Kazuhiro Sasaki will take over for that man who pitched a great ball game. After 8.5, Mariners 3, the Athletics nothing. Here he is, Kazuhiro Sasaki, a save last night. His numbers on the year.
Well, the big number, the 4 saves, 5 strikeout. He has that pitch we call the thang working, but when he has a big lead, he works more with his fastball. He introduced the Oakland A's last night to a curveball first pitch that Tejada jumped out of the way of, because they haven't seen that on a scouting report. That ball comes right at you and breaks over the plate, and a guy that doesn't have a breaking ball, you're not looking for it. You think it's coming right at you.
Makes him even tougher. He doesn't have to throw it all that often, just knowing that he's got it. How about these numbers, Hendu, for Aaron Seeley? 8 shutout innings against Oakland.
Well, pretty impressive. He silenced the bats of the Oakland A's.
Frank Menachino leads off the inning. Ground ball to the right side. Brett Boone is right there. 1 pitch and 1 away for Oakland here in the 9th. Kazu a chance to pick up his 5th save of the year already. Needs 2 more outs. That'll bring up Jason Giambi. Giambi is 0 for 3.
And you kind of like facing this guy with a 3-run lead instead of a 1-run lead, you know, with the game on the line in the 9th. If you want to pitch to Giambi, he can hit a home run. He can do anything he wants, because nobody on base. He's not the tying run.
Fastball's a little high and outside. Ball 1. The A's coming into the ball game as a team, batting only .219, and they have only 4 hits tonight. 1-1 on Giambi. A 3-run top of the 8th for the Mariners, and it was ignited by Ichiro's pinch hit single to left field. Then in the bottom of the 8th inning, that great throw. There's a splitter. Did he go? Yes, he did, and the count is 1-2 on Giambi. Then in the bottom of the 8th inning, it was Ichiro's great throw to get Terrence Long at third base for the 2nd out of the inning, trying to go from first to third on a single by Hernandez. So what a contribution by Ichiro in a short period of time at the end of this game. He was not in the starting lineup. Fouled away. Still 1-2.
Well, that's a great weapon to have on your bench, sitting there when you can use him. If you're Lou Piniella, you know this guy can ignite a ball club. When he gets on base, there's a threat he can steal and score from anywhere. And when he does get on base, something's going to happen. And Lou just had his ace in the hole sitting on the bench for the right moment to use it.
And how about 2 other guys? Popped up. In behind third base, David Bell heading back. He's there. He's got it, leaning back, and he stays with it to make the catch for out number 2. Nice play by David Bell. So the A's are down to their final out. But how about Lou Piniella taking off the bunt for Mark McLemore in the top of the 8th inning, giving McLemore a chance to swing away, and then McLemore coming through with a ground ball past the third baseman Chavez playing up close.
Well, there's a veteran player. He sees Eric Chavez playing way too close and trying to charge the bunt. He says, all I got to do is put this ball in play and not hit it right at him. It's going to squeak through because he's playing only 10 feet away from me. And Lou Piniella sees that and says, hey, go ahead and swing away. Make sure you get the ball on the ground, though.
Here's designated hitter Mario Valdez. Mariners 1 out away from a shutout win tonight here in Oakland. That's tough to do against this ball club in this ballpark, Kendu, which is now a good hitter's ballpark.
Well, sooner or later, they're going to have to start giving the Mariners pitching staff a little credit instead of saying, oh, we're just not swinging the bats well or we're in a little bit of a slump.
Now, this was pitching tonight. Aaron Seeley, 8 innings. Gave up only 4 hits, 1 walk, struck out 2. Absolutely brilliant tonight. And then you got this guy to close it out. 2 outs and nobody out. The 1-1. Splitter, check swing, didn't go, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Early start tomorrow. Radio only tomorrow. Aaron Seeley on your left, 8 innings. Gave up only 4 hits, and Sasaki trying to close it out. Heck of an outing tonight for Aaron. Swing and a miss at a good fastball, and the count is even on Valdez at 2-2. Just radio tomorrow when Jamie Moyer goes against Tim Hudson in Game 3 of the series. And then it's down to Anaheim for 3 against the Angels. A little bit outside, ball 3, full count 3-2. On deck is Miguel Tejada. But Sasaki trying to close it out here with 2 outs in the 9th. Fouled away, still 3-2.
Well, this is a kind of at bat. You can bet the farm, the house, everything that 3-2 you're going to get a fastball because there's no way that if you hit the ball at the ballpark, nobody cares. They just said, don't want to walk you to start an inning. Put the ball in play, but just don't walk.
Mariners off to a great start on this first road trip of the season. Fastball, got him, swinging, strike 3, and the ball game is over. Kazu strikes out Mario Valdez for the final out of the game, and the Mariners shut out the Oakland A's here at the Coliseum. A final score of 3-0. Sasaki saved number 5 on the year. Aaron Seeley was absolutely brilliant, and what a contribution late in the game by Ichiro and Mark McLemore.
Well, it's pretty easy to pick 2 stars out. Aaron Seeley pitched a great ball game, and Ichiro with a great throw and the ignition of the offense late in the ball game. They're both players of the game.